Capoeira find everything that I like. It's music, it's dance, it's martial arts, acrobatic, it's philosophy, it's everything.
Capoeira is everything. Capoeira is music, dance, fight. It's philosophy, it's a whole cultural form.
É dança, uma arte.
It's dance, it's art, culture, profession.
You learn in Capoeira to learn self-respect and self-control and self-esteem and respect.
In Capoeira Angola, you don't need to hit to kill. To show the movement is enough.
A good capoeirista, he or she will come out of any situation without getting physical.
To learn Capoeira, it's not to learn to fight. It's to learn the struggle of a people, which was expressed in physical movements because of the need for liberty. The liberty to be human. To learn Capoeira is, above anything else, to struggle for the freedom of the body and the spirit.
Capoeira is not the only African art form practiced in Brazil. All this is part of the African diaspora. You can find capoeira in Angola not with the name of capoeira, not with the name martial art, but you can find capoeira in Angola with the name gabitula. Capoeira is African, developed by Africans in Brazil.
The Africans went to Brazil as slaves working on sugar plantations. They created a dance to get their freedom.
Africans, the only way to gain their freedom was by develop this art form. They weren't allowed to use any weapons, and they had to camouflage and conceal the art form with dance. And capoeira, it's a way, was the only way to give their path to freedom.
In Angola, there are a lot of forms. One is called gabitula, one is called besola. There are a lot of different names for the thing that could be called capoeira in Brazil. There's an older form, there's a zebra dance also called ungolo, which is found in southern Angola, and that might be one of the roots also of capoeira.
The roots of it is that thing was called the zebra dance, that to my understanding the young men would compete with each other in the zebra dance, whereas they would try to trip each other, just have flavor and style to win the hand of a woman as a bride.
In Brazil, capoeira also has a long history. Some people claim that in the 1600s, when they had the famous free African outposts, the so-called quilombos or mucambos, that capoeira was used in those.
Meu mestre Pastinha, depois você vai pegar ele. É meu mestre, avô e pai de capoeira.
Mestre Pastinha, he was my master, my father and grandfather in capoeira. Mestre Pastinha was a great Angola practitioner. He learned with an African named Benedito. He was 10 years old and learned this dance because he wanted revenge. There was a boy who used to beat him up every day and steal his bread. The African guy said to Pastinha, "Boy, I will give you something to stop him." Pastinha was 10. The other boy was 15. After the lessons, Pastinha meets the boy again. They fight. Mestre Pastinha left the boy on the ground, crying and without his bread.
Ele ensinou a ele, ele passou no lugar, o cara não pegou ele pegou o menino, derrubou, deu rasteiro no menino, tomou o pão do menino, deu rasteiro no menino, e não caiu, estou chorando.
Bimba was, Bimba's a legend. Yes, Bimba's a legend. Bimba, it's the man who introduced capoeira to society. And Master Bimba used to be practitioner of capoeira Angola. And also his father used to teach him a batuque. Batuque is another art form, African art form that died out. Batuque had all the taking downs. Capoeira Angola had the kicks, the malicia, the headbutts, many other techniques. And Bimba mixed batuque with Capoeira Angola in early 1917, 1918, and developed this style called regional. Yes, because was practiced right in region of Bahia.
Capoeira became illegal. It was seen as something really dangerous because it was what Africans had to use to fight with. So people, the police and the officials didn't want Africans to have this kind of fighting form. So they outlawed capoeira. And until the 30s, when it became somewhat respectable because of the efforts of Bimba, capoeira was seen as the thing of a malandro, the person who stayed in the streets and the person who fought in the streets. But everybody knew that capoeiristas were great fighters. And they used to be hired as protection men too, to protect people when they had to go through town. And they also used to be hired as gang fighters, as people to go break up a rally, to cause some kind of trouble. So it has a long history. But in the 30s, it was also considered what the hustlers in the street used. And a lot of the techniques in capoeira are there. A lot of techniques in capoeira are knife techniques and razor techniques.
Seu bunda mole, seu corno, filho da puta! E essa aqui, xerife, é pela Geni. Agora some daqui, Vivi.
Capoeira Angola é muito tempo, é mais perigosa.
Capoeira Angola used to be dangerous, but now it's not. Now it's everywhere. Universities, schools, the army, everywhere. Now the movements are more contained.
Na faculdade, fui para as Forças Armadas, aqui, não dá para igual, é muito perigosa. Dá limitado, os golpes limitados.
Many people was doing, using capoeira to be a hitman, using capoeira to steal or mug people. You know, hang around the corner every day, all day long, and doing capoeira. That was giving a bad name to capoeira, and Bimba wanted to clean that. Bimba was the first man to open capoeira school. This is my opinion. If it was not for Master Bimba, no, capoeira would have died out a long time ago.
At first, it was just one capoeira, you know, which would look a lot like what you all saw when we came and you know, demonstrated at your school. It would look like Capoeira Angola with slow movement, slow to the ground, and everything like that. But in 1927, you know, Bimba developed Capoeira Regional, which means regional capoeira.
We used to say Capoeira Regional, it's more dynamic. We playing more like, you know, it's like up.
And Capoeira Regional, you can grab, you can lock, you can hit with the hands. In Capoeira Angola, you can do a lot of things you do in Regional you cannot do in Angola.
In Capoeira Angola, it's like slow, and they play more on the ground.
Angola has more to do with communicating with your partner.
makes a difference is when you play the instrument, the berimbau. The berimbau, the soul of the art form that controls. Now, if you play Angola rhythm, you must obey, you must play to that rhythm. And when you play São Bento Grande to regional, then you must play regional.
When you're playing fast, if the rhythm goes fast, and the capoeira game goes fast, right, like this. Now it's Angola rhythm, right?
Music has a lot of things. Music can convey all of these things in it. Music can be used to control the game, because there's no capoeira really without music. The music is used to set the pace, to talk to the fighters as they're fighting or as they're playing with each other, to calm everything down when it gets too rough. People change the tempo of the music and also change the lyrics. It can be used to inspire some fighters. There's a famous song that says about a tree falling. It said, if this big tree can fall, you know, so can everybody.
There's a song, Pere se gunga mi vendo mi de, gunga mewa mewa mewa. It's a person asking, will you sell me your gunga? And the person say, no, the gunga is mine, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Gunga mewa mewa mewa. And the next one is gunga mewa for me paku Miguel. It's saying the gunga is mine, my father gave it to me. And if you can interpret it as like the gunga representing someone's culture. Somebody saying, sell me your culture. And they said, no, you can't. I'm not going to sell you my culture. The culture is mine. It's mine, it's mine, it's mine. The culture is mine. My father gave it to me.
It's called Cavalaria. Cavalaria is like group of horse. And when the slaves was like, hear the song, that means, you know, the man's coming, the white man is coming. And stop playing capoeira. Let's start dance, like a camouflage.
And berimbau is the soul of capoeira. You know, we have, in capoeira, when a capoeira roda, is 3 berimbaus. We have the gunga, the thick one, the berimbau center, and the violinha, the high-pitched one. In a roda, a berimbau is more respect. A master is always respect, but the berimbau is more respect than even the master in a roda.
Juntou com a cabaça, virou birimbau, birimbau sim, birimbau não, birimba, birimba, birimbau sim, birimbau não, birimba, birimba, birimbau.
The underlying aspect of it is malicia, and malicia translated into Afro-American terms is tricknology. The underlying part of it is really being tricky. Everything you do is not what it looks like you're doing.
People spend a year or 2 years in capoeira, and right away they consider themselves a master, and they put that title on themselves, which is wrong. You know, but when I was growing up, to be a master was someone who's been around in capoeira for a long time, who could have that father figure, who could teach and explain and gave the sensibility of a path, that sensibility of capoeira to students who can bring peace and love into the student's heart.
A master of capoeira is like an orange tree, an apple tree. If the trees are in good soil, they will bear good fruit. If their soil is not good, they will just give bad fruit. When I arrived in New York, a friend told me, "Boy, be careful, there is peril in the city." Then I told him, "Peril will never get me. When you have capoeira, you have God, you have love."
When I come to New York City, I felt like I could be culturally educated just walking in the street of New York City. And always fascinated by the United States, and I want to come here, and my mission was to teach capoeira and let them. I used to have this idea that African American didn't know anything about capoeira, and they need to know, which I was wrong. When the Ebony magazine wrote article, the first article written in capoeira, 1949.
Capoeira was brought to the United States formally by Jalón Vieira and Loramil Machado. I say formally because there had to have been Brazilians here before them who knew it. They brought it in 1975, and they were the first to set up schools and teach capoeira here. But there had to be other people who knew capoeira here because so many Brazilians have been in the United States. And as it turns out, I bumped into somebody who said in the 50s he learned capoeira in the Bronx from a family, a Brazilian family that lived next door to him.
I was the only teacher from 1975 to 1984 until somebody else came here and started teaching. Nowadays, it's more teaching in New York, it's more teaching in California, it's more teaching in Boston, in New Mexico, in Seattle. Up to 1979, you could only find capoeira in New York City, in the whole country. Then Master Bir Almeida came to California, started teaching capoeira in San Francisco. Then 83, somebody else came to California. Then in 84, somebody else came here and started growing. But more people teaching, more people practicing it. I have read article, it's about myself, saying Loramil Machado and I were responsible for breakdance. I can't say I am responsible for breakdance, because I think breakdance exists. I did not do it.
Feels so good. Yes, I feel, it's like, it's so happy when I play capoeira. It's like music, the people, songs, it's the energy, it's amazing.
Anytime it's a sensation of possession, when like you're possessed. When you're playing capoeira, like you're possessed. You're not really possessed by the way you are, because when I'm playing capoeira, I feel ancestors around, I feel, I hear things, and it's an experience you have to be involved.
Deus, a luz e a verdade. Maior é Deus, pequeno sou eu. Maior é Deus, pequeno sou eu. Tudo que eu tenho foi Deus que me deu. Tudo que eu tenho foi Deus que me deu. Na roda da capoeira, grande e pequeno sou eu.
Yeah, 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 yeah.